Alright. Holy shit, how do I grab this mic? There you go. That's how we're doing this. Okay. This shit's all scripted. Hey guys, I wanted to talk about acceptance in this video. Um, why do I want to talk about acceptance? Well, it's something that's kind of hard for me to, or something that I struggle with, you know? I feel like most relationships for me have been like kind of hard for me to accept, like, that things are like over, you know? Like it was hard for me to just swallow that because, I'm just someone who I like to save the relationship. I like to like I don't like to just give up like that, like not easily. And I would even try for like weeks, sometimes even months, just trying to save the like what I had with that person, you know? But what I couldn't wrap my head around was that that needed to happen in order for me to progress in my life. I guess I always ask myself, like, why? Like, why couldn't I progress in my life without having to lose them? But obviously there's different answers for different scenarios. But when you do find that answer, it's like you kind of unlock this thing where you feel like you've made the next step in healing. But the thing is, with my recent ex, which is who I'm going to talk about today, it took me a while to accept that things were over. And the reason why I said it took a while is because I was, it took me months. It took me months, almost even a year. It was about to be a year. I was genuinely just trying to win her over. I was trying to get her back because I was the one that broke it off, and I quickly regretted it. There was a lot of reasons why I broke things off. A lot of good ones, a lot of bad ones. But, a part of me thought she was going to come back even after I ended things because we had a tendency of being on and off. We always came back to each other. I always took her back, and she also took me back, and we even told each other we'd always find each other, no matter what. But obviously, that wasn't the case. And I just couldn't comprehend that because, like, I asked myself, what was different now that, what was different now that we couldn't find ourselves back to each other, you know? And obviously, with enough time, the truth kind of came to light, which was that, she had found somebody else. And it took me a while to process it, it kind of, it broke me. It hurt that, the woman I loved for 3 years found somebody else and moved on. And I kind of just had to, well, my reaction was very like, it was just so like, I didn't want to believe it, like I just couldn't accept that. Like, it almost didn't feel real, But even after that, I didn't let go. I still believe that if I had truly loved somebody, I would fight for them no matter what. And that's exactly what I did. And it almost worked. Yeah, I did get to see her a few times, and although nothing much happened, it still meant a lot to me just seeing her, Like, obviously, it was always me that was trying to see her, and honestly, I would only see her for like just a brief moment. It wasn't for that long. But yeah, just felt like I was just getting crumbs. But to me, it felt like everything until it didn't. Because then at a certain point, I wanted more. I wanted more time with her. I wanted to see her more. I wanted to call her more. I wanted to talk to her more. But every time I tried getting that, she'd just back off. And that kind of just drove me insane. It it messed up my mind because it would get my hopes up, like, cause yeah, I was trying so hard to get her to like me, and all I would get sometimes was just silence. She wouldn't say anything. She would just ghost me, and it would drive me to break down and go off at her, cause it's like I'm doing all this and you're just like kind of ghosting me and just like not wanting to fully commit. And I mean, I get it, right? Because I mean, I had already known that she was talking to somebody else. But yeah, I begged and I pleaded, and I really just wanted to know, like, why was she doing all this? Like why was she giving me attention? Why was she letting me see her, even if it was just for a little bit, even though she had somebody else or she was talking to somebody else? And like, yeah, and also just like, why was she ghosting me? Like, I thought, she wanted me. I thought, I had a chance. And this actually looped for months. It kept happening again and again and again and again. It was a cycle, and honestly, after months, it really does drive you crazy. I was so familiar with the saying that goes, if you truly love somebody, you'll let them go. But I never really took that to consideration because, like I said, I've always believed in fighting for somebody that you truly love, Like, you wouldn't just give up on them, Like, why would you just let them go if you truly love them? Like, that didn't make sense to me, At least at the time. But yeah, I saw it again. It kept appearing on my FYP, like, if you really do love somebody, you'll let them go. But yeah, it was like, how could I do that? How could I just go against everything that I was doing, which was fighting for her? I was trying to just do so much to get her back, and I also didn't want to let her go at the time. But eventually it took a lot of thought, and I realized that she chose him over me every single day. And I asked myself, why is that? And then I just took one good look at myself. And I mean that, or I say that because at the time I had no job. I wasn't studying for anything, for a career, nothing. I really had like no future planned ahead of me, And I had no car. I couldn't even take her out. I was literally, like, when I would see her, I would take the bus, and honestly, it's like we would go to the same locations every time. And I know that kind of disappointed her in a way, and honestly, it kind of sucked. And yeah, it's just like, also, I never had money, Like, I was such a bad boyfriend. It's crazy. I also just had a past with her that was still hurting the both of us, and I still had a bunch of issues with me personally, I'm a damaged man. But yeah, I hadn't healed from a lot of things, and I feel like because of that, I was affecting her, or I was letting those issues affect her as well. But yeah, I genuinely had nothing to offer her besides love, which doesn't really get you far in a relationship. Yeah. Then I thought of, what does he have, like, yeah, what does he have, like, why does she choose her, or her? Why does he choose him rather than me, And, I thought about it, and I mean, he probably has a job, probably has a car, takes her out. I don't know if he's studying for anything or if he knows what he's doing with his life, because I don't know the guy, but what I do know for sure is that they have a blank past. They don't have a bad past, but they do have a loving present and a loving future, which is so much easier to deal with than a hurting past. And also just to deal with a guy that doesn't have his life planned out and has had no job. I mean, I have a job now, but it's like just at the time, I don't know. Even now, it's like I could barely support myself with the job I have. But yeah, I had to accept that, and it made me realize that I needed to be alone because I was lacking so many things and was still also just hurting from a lot of things as well. Even if she had taken me back, like things probably would have just ended up the same. Like I wouldn't have changed. I would have nothing to offer her because yeah, at the time I didn't have anything. I it just would have been bad. And yeah, we would have ended up breaking up again most likely. And yeah, at a point I really did think that love could carry you through a relationship, but that's not how it works. It's really not. Love is just so complicated, and it requires more than just the feeling. It requires responsibility. It requires um, money. Well, I mean, like love is. I mean, like a relationship. Yeah. You need money. You need something to take that person out. You need something to just. It's just more than love is not gonna carry a relationship, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, if she's truly happy with him, then that's a good thing. I can't always, or I shouldn't expect her to, keep me in her life forever. I know that pieces of me will be buried in her heart or maybe her mind, and examples of that would be, the music we've given each other. Like I've given her music from Kid Cudi, Nine Inch Nails, Radiohead, and others. And I think it's natural, but we all go through each other's ex's account, and I've seen her repost like the artists that I've shown her, and it makes me happy because, it's like even though like we're not together and even though she might not like me anymore, it's like that music kind of became a part of her, and she actually really did. It also, yeah, it means that like she actually enjoyed the music. And yeah, I've also put her on some video games as well, cause me, this this channel was kind of based on just gaming, but not as of recently. But yeah, I've put her on Dead Space. I've put her on God of War and Tomb Raider, and probably some other games, but I wouldn't know because she didn't really tell me if she liked those games or not. And of course, I'll carry pieces of her in myself as well. Like she put me on music as well, especially The Neighborhood and The Marias and Panchico and Cigarettes. And she even put me on a game that, I feel like I've also kind of fell in love with, which was The Last of Us. And she's put me on so many other things, when it, like others, like, she's put me on, like, anime and movies and just other stuff. But I think at the end of the day, like, I needed to be alone. I need to be alone, like, on some real stuff. I need to heal from a lot of things. I need to fix my issues, and yeah, as much as I wanted her, like, just it wasn't gonna work out if I hadn't changed. So yeah, I haven't approached or even have thought of being with anybody else, because it's just a thought that scares me. It's a thought that comes with a lot of responsibility, a lot of commitment, a lot of just just it's not something I could bear right now, honestly. Cause yeah, I'm really not worthy of providing for a woman at all. Not mentally, not physically, not financially. Like I just couldn't provide much of myself. Cause yeah, this version of me is just not. It's not there yet. But I do hope she is happy. I think she made the right choice. I think she made a choice that she knows that's gonna last her for life, maybe. And I know that saying that like kind of just hurts me because I did love this woman for so long, and I've It's been a year, dude. Like, genuinely, trying to, I've been waiting for this woman. I've been trying to just get her back, but I think I've accepted that it's over. Like recently, she put her profile picture with him and her, and I don't know if she thought I blocked her, but I went, what do they call it? I deactivated my Instagram and TikTok, and I guess she thought I blocked her because she blocked me back. I don't know. Well, I mean, not back because I didn't block her, but yeah, she blocked me. Or maybe, I don't know. It's just, I don't want to talk about it. It's just, I don't know if this message was like something that, you guys could relate to, but this was just mostly me just like, yeah, it's just speaking on acceptance, speaking on my, like, what do you call it? My testimony on, like, how I deal with stuff, And trust me, to get to this mindset, like, it took me about almost a year, because I was chasing her for so long, and like, yeah, I'm barely getting to like this phase where, yeah, I've become I've become I've become accepting of what has happened. But yeah, gonna just end this video with saying that, yeah, I hope you guys take care. Maybe today's message spoke to you, but yeah, I'll see you guys in another video. Adios.